Hey everybody, it's Music Man Darin. Welcome back to the Darin Show, where we like to review albums and occasionally provide you with some original Darin music, songwriting content. But today on the Darin Show, we are going to be talking about the group Wilco. Now, I've been a fan of Wilco since way back. Summer Teeth, the Being There, and then they came out with the Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. If you don't know the story of that, Wikipedia that, they submitted it to their record label, and the record label said, we don't want this crap. So they released it for free on their website first, and then they put it out on their own label. Became a big hit, won some awards, that kind of thing. So, you know, people in the music industry don't know what the hell they're talking about. They should just let people release what they want to release and put it out there and let the world find it. But today we are talking about, coincidentally, another CD that was released on the internet. This is Wilco Star Wars from 2015. They released this in July 2015. They just put it out on the internet. Then they didn't release it on actual album until August of that year. And I got it at the library, as always. As I've mentioned before, I'm an old school guy. I like the CDs. I don't buy CDs anymore, so anything that I want to get, I go to the library, because you got to support your local library. So pick this up. I like to handle a CD. I like to pop it in the car or at home, listen to the whole thing, not just play individual tracks off the internet or something. And also you can get the little lyric book and stuff, which is cool. Sometimes they have, you know, content that you're not going to find on the internet when you're just, you know, playing it up on the YouTube or whatever. So anyway, here we go. Wilco. Do you know, by the way, that name comes from the military designation, like Roger Wilco? Wilco is short for Will Comply, which Jeff Tweedy has said is kind of an ironic thing for a rock band to call themselves, you know, Will Comply, and they don't usually comply, so it is ironic. Star Wars is their 9th album, released on July 16th, 2015, and on their wilcoworld.net. And then a CD version was released on August 21st, vinyl version later that fall. The album emerged from recording sessions at the Wilco Loft in Chicago. And the next album in 2016 had an album called Schmilko that came out, also recorded there in the Wilco Loft. Which, interestingly enough, that's where this is from. This painting, this kitten, Jeff Tweedy said that this painting is in the kitchen at the Wilco Loft. And while they were recording a bunch of songs, he said, well, we should just put that on the album. Then he decided to call the album Star Wars just because it's weird and it's different, and he thought it would look funny to have Star Wars across the top. Not have any album doesn't have anything to do with Star Wars. The kitten has nothing to do with Star Wars. He said he was prepared, in fact, to change the name of the album and re-release it as Cease and Desist, because he was afraid that George Lucas of Star Wars fame would say, hey, you can't use it. But nothing ever happened. So we have an album called Star Wars with a kitten on the front that was a portrait hanging up in the kitchen of the loft. So let's listen to some songs here. We've got some pretty good songs. Starts out with a track called EKG, track number 1. It's just an instrumental, and it's loud and it's just fuzzy. I remember I had some dogs over here the other day, and I was listening to this album to prepare for this video, and it came on and really loud and kind of scared the dogs. But so we're not going to listen to that one. It's just noise. Track number 2 is More. Let's take a listen to track number 2. That was track number 2, More. Very catchy song. I like it a lot. It sounds like a Wilco song. We're going to check out track number 3, which I really enjoyed. Track number 3 is Random Name Generator. Random Name Generator. Kind of quirky title. There you go. It's Wilco. Come on, listen to the weed whistle way. I belong to the stars in the day. I ran away, eternal instigator. I was cold. Remember the Milky Way. Why? I belong to the stars in the sky. Random Name Generator. So anyway, cool. It's a rocking song. It's about as rocking as you're going to get from Wilco. It's catchy. Wild lyrics. There's your Jeff Tweedy thing. Up next, track 4, The Joke Explained.
I never held your gaze.
Joke explained, if I had known, I would have never believed. So what is maybe he's saying that too much knowledge about something kind of kills the magic. So that's kind of cool. I'm a fan of Wilco because of the odd lyrics. It's the music. It's not always rock and roll. It's not always country, but sometimes it's countrified rock and roll, if that makes any sense. Kind of the alt country. Of course, Jeff Tweedy originated in the alt country Uncle Tupelo. Next up, track 5, You Satellite. Hey, if you can figure out what these lyrics mean, you know, more power to you. Sometimes I don't hate it. Lately, what I don't know, I'm going to bleed it away. Reunite the dynamite. Catch it all and reunite. Dynamite, how high? I'm more moved by the maybe. It's okay. You can't sing what you can't give away. I've come all this way to hold your hand. I became a calendar while I was waiting. This one doesn't really tell any stories or anything. It's just a good sound. I think that's why I enjoy Wilco a lot of times. Is just sometimes the words don't need to make sense. It's a good feeling. It's a vibe. You feel the music, you feel the words, and you just, you know, maybe you need to get high. I don't know. Track number 6 is Taste the Ceiling. Track 6, Taste the Ceiling, is arguably my favorite song on the album. I do like the lyrics on this one, and I like the feel, the vibe of the song. I was only asking for a moment of the truth. I can't fight the feeling when I'm hanging out with you. Why do I forgive you? Because I get confused. I could never leave behind the part of me that you refuse. I was on the ceiling. I could almost feel the sun. Try the words in the sequence, but that's never how it's done. Why do our disasters creep so slowly into view? I was only after a friend to follow through. I don't really have a lot of background on these songs. I Wikipedia'd this stuff, so this is just kind of a listen and enjoy the feel of it. Put it on, clean house, whatever. Track number 7, Pickled Ginger. Track 7, Pickled Ginger, some interesting sounds, some guitar stuff there in the middle. Really cool, rocking little tune. I like that one. Interesting lyrics. As you can see, I put them up there. Track number 8, Where Do I Begin? Why can't we tell when we're in hell? Why can't I say something to make you well? When things can't be seen, confined within the dream, from where we end to where do I begin? From what was left behind to you're my friend. I won't ever, ever fall apart like that again. From where we are to where do I begin? I like this one a lot. It's a mellow song. It's kind of a looking back on a past love song, so of course those appeal to me. I'm always a sucker for a sad, rip my heart out or look back on a love affair kind of song. I have been forever. It doesn't matter where I am in a relationship, good, bad, whatever. I like a heart-wrenching song about a love gone wrong, or a love that you've lost that you wish you had back, or a love that you never had that you wish you could have had, you know, whatever. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Track 9, Cold Slope. Cold Slope, track 9. I like that. It's got a funky tune. It's a funky beat there. It got some bass and boom, 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 boom. And again, you know, lyrics that you kind of have to interpret yourself. But, you know, you can say what you want, but you don't know what you want. I'll say what you want. Now I will say all I will say. I won't recognize you. I won't recognize you anymore. Track 10 is King of You. So I got to inject here just a second. Track 10, King of You, reminds me of the track previous, Cold Slope. Listen to the two of them, just the first like 30 seconds of each. Track 9, Cold Slope. Here's a sound. Here's a little listen to that. And then track 10 seems to have the same tempo, same beat. This happened earlier on the album. I thought Random Name Generator, if you listen to that, and then when you go right into track 4, The Joke Explained, it sort of has the same groove, same feel. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Like maybe they were working on tracks and they kind of had one, and then they kind of took it a different direction, and then they had that same whatever beat, chord progression, whatever you want to call it, and then they went back and did it again. So track 10, King of You. King of You, wave after wave, wishes unspoken, talks like a blowtorch, palms out and frozen. Who said it's easy? Language is losing. I swallow the steam and claim to be stupid. Again, interesting lyrics. I don't know. Okay, coming up here, we got the last track, track 11, Magnetized. Let's give a little listen to that. So this is a very interesting track. I like the stop and start, the organ, and just kind of the background church organ sort of sound. Orchestrate the shallow pink refrigerator drone, carried in the shadows, almost bone. Everyone wastes my time. The moment that you thought would murder motions, you wait. Every apprehension, alien ache. Sometimes I get the feeling that these are just random words and lines and lyrics thrown together for an interesting sound. I mentioned that earlier. Maybe it's not all about telling a story. This isn't Springsteen story songs from the River album or something. This is just, we're creating art. We're creating a poem. We're creating a picture, a sound, and you just kind of close your eyes and the words mean whatever the words mean to you. And they fit in with the music and they set a mood. I think that's why I like it. I like that. It's a mood, a tone poem, if you will. So I sleep underneath a picture that I keep a view next to me. I realize we're magnetized. Orchestrate the shallow pink refrigerator drone. Back to that. So there you have it. 11 tracks, Star Wars, Wilco from 2015. Probably not a great way to start your Wilco journey, but I just wanted to, I'm going to go through a lot of Wilco albums coming up, and I happen to have this one come up at the library, so I checked it out. Probably give it a 7 out of 10. Again, let me get 8 out of 10 if you're a Wilco fan, 6.5 out of 10 if you've never heard Wilco before. You're going to be like, what the hell is this? But there's a couple of good songs on here, so that's good. Check it out, Wilco. I'm going to go back and I'm going to check out. Now, my favorite Wilco album is still Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. Of course, I do love Ghost is Born also. So, Hummingbird. Whew. If you want to start out with some Wilco, do Yankee Hotel Foxtrot and A Ghost is Born, and then get back to me. Thanks very much. Music Man Darin at the Darin Show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.